We begin tonight from the nation's capital, Abuja, where President Muhammadu Buhari met with 9 governors of the All Progressives Congress behind closed doors at the presidential villa today. The visiting governors are Rochas Okorocha of Imo State, Abdulaziz Yari of Zamfara, Simon Lalong of Plateau, Abubakar Bagudu of Kebbi, Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo, Abubakar Bello of Niger, Ibikule Amosun of Ogun, and Abiola Ajimobi of Oyo State. After the meeting, which lasted nearly 2 hours, Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha, who is also the chairman of the APC Governors Forum, told journalists that the various crises in their state primaries was the subject of discussions with the president with a view to finding a solution. He says the governors are requesting that the right thing be done along party principles of equity, justice and fairness.
We reviewed the various crises characterizing our primaries, especially the APC, and with a view to finding solutions. So we're looking for a way out in this regard. But we're going to find a solution. Our party believes in justice, equity, and fairness, and we're requesting that let the right thing be done and let.
Meanwhile, the state governors also had a meeting with the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, in Abuja, where he reaffirmed the commitment of the party to conclude all its governorship primaries before Saturday, October 6th. Mr. Oshiomhole insisted that Adamawa, Edo and Zamfara states are to conduct direct primaries to elect the party flag bearers on Friday, October 5th, 2018. Apart from approving some of the election results, the APC national chairman also announced the composition of a new committee to conduct fresh governorship primary election in Imo State.
We are working on now, we are going to meet to set up a new committee that will do the election in Zamfara. Also, the people we sent to Adamawa, they couldn't get there on time, of course, for logistic reasons. And they are on the way now. Some have already arrived there. And we have directed them that tomorrow morning they will commence the exercise, direct elections in Adamawa State. And anybody who does anything that is not done in accordance with the procedure which vested the powers on the electoral panel, the outcome of that will not, of course, be acceptable. In Edo State, I also understand they tried to do election in the morning before the arrival of the people we sent there, and that election has been cancelled. Again, for logistic reasons, the members of the panel couldn't get to Benin on time. I'm sure first in the morning they will be there and they will conduct the primary according to the spirit and the letter of our constitution and of the election guidelines. In Imo State, we are setting up a committee that will be manned by men and women who cannot be compromised in the light of what had happened the other day, and they will conduct a transparent primaries.
Meanwhile, delegates of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos are participating in the party's governorship primary, with 2 former aspirants back in the race. The party's flag bearer in the 2015 governorship election, Mr. Jimmy Agbaje, and Mr. Adedeji Doherty are squaring it up in the jostle for the party's ticket. The exercise, which has now entered the ballot counting stage, is holding in the Oregun area of the city capital, Ikeja. Earlier, there was a difficult situation in crowd control, where some unruly members of the party were seen trying to force their way through the gates of the venue. The candidates, as well as some of party bigwigs, are confident the PDP is capable of giving the ruling APC in Lagos a run come 2019.
It's not so much the candidate, it's the machinery on the ground, whether we have the machinery on the ground to be able to defeat APC. Not only that, then we have to be sure that INEC is fair. INEC is no longer independent. INEC is in the, well, I wouldn't say in the pocket exactly, but they're certainly leaning towards APC in everything we see.
I mean, you are seeing the charade that happened with the APC. I don't think we will do that. I feel really extremely happy seeing the enthusiasm in the people. So, as the road leads to Port Harcourt this weekend, I beg all our delegates and our people, whoever emerges, we will collectively support. And it's another opportunity to convince Nigerians that we are better managers than the ADC.
The ruling All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party also conducted governorship primaries across the country to elect candidates that would represent their parties in the 2019 general elections. More aspirants, though, seem to disagree with the results of the primaries in different states.
The crisis rocking the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State over who gets the party's governorship ticket may have gotten worse, with the cancellation of its just concluded primary election by the National Working Committee of the party. The NWC is citing various forms of election malpractices as reasons for the cancellation, but it's an argument the governor of the state is not buying.
Regarding to our election, that the primary elections of the gubernatorial, one, I want to show my dismay on how the organizers of these primaries approach the state and how they have wanted to conduct the election. I'm not satisfied. I have done all my best humanly possible to ensure that we get credible, transparent election internally.
All aware of why we are here.
In Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria, the APC seems to have its work cut out, with the emergence of two governorship candidates.
I, Chief Dena Debi, State Chairman of All Progressive Congress of Nigeria, do hereby declare Abdulkadir Kunle Akinlade as the winner of the gubernatorial primary.
Therefore, Abiodun, who scored the highest vote of 102,305 votes, is therefore elected as the flag bearer of APC, subject to ratification by the National Working Committee.
It's a similar situation in Imo State, where the APC governorship primary produced two candidates. The state's party chairman emphasizes the need for an impartial umpire.
All we desire is to have impartial electoral officers who conduct free and fair elections.
At the UJ SWNS Stadium in Cross River State, south of Nigeria, accredited delegates for the PDP Southern senatorial primary elections were left stranded. This man has accused the election committee panel of manipulating results sheets.
One of the members was with the materials, and we started looking for him. Finally, they caught him when he came. He has only photocopies of the result sheet. The original he has given out.
The story is, however, different in Bayelsa State, where Honorable Fred Agbedi emerged as the PDP's sole candidate for the Sagbama-Ekeremo federal constituency.
If I have the kind of leadership I have in my federal constituency, saying go unopposed is a signal that you have not done enough, and so we want you to do a lot more. And so this is a sign of a challenge of a lot more work that I need to do for my people.
Meanwhile, Kabir Barkiya and Senator Ahmed Baba Keita have been declared winners of the two of the three senatorial districts of Katsina State. While Engineer Barkiya polled a total of 1,466 votes, Senator Baba Keita polled 2,384 votes. As the INEC deadline for the submission of candidates draws closer, political observers say that the earlier political parties address these issues, the better their chances in the general election.
President Muhammadu Buhari has a lot on his plate as the 2019 elections approach, even though he has done considerably well in fighting corruption, which was one of his campaign promises. The indication was given by former U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, who is in the country to launch his book, Nigeria, What Everyone Needs to Know. The former ambassador says the book is a compilation of answers to questions asked by him and the co-author, Matthew Page, concerning Nigeria.
Corruption is structural in Nigeria, which means it's going to take a long time before the culture of corruption can be eliminated. What President Buhari has done through some of his very high-profile, or some of the very high-profile prosecutions of agencies like the EFCC, is it's a step towards changing that corruption. That's one thing. In terms of security, there the results are more disappointing. Boko Haram has not been destroyed. Boko Haram appears to be on the resurgence in certain territories in the far northeast. I'm particularly worried about the al-Barnawi faction, which seems to be in the process of staking out, once again, territory, albeit very small, but territory in which taxes are collected and services are provided. He is doing his best, and the issue then becomes whether whoever his opposition candidate is, whether the opposition candidate's best can be any better.
Staying with election matters, the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal over the September 22nd governorship election in Osun State has commenced sitting at the State High Court in Osogbo. At the first proceeding, the panel headed by Justice T.O. Ogoche granted Senator Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party leave to inspect materials used in the election, including ballot papers. Adeleke is also to obtain certified true copies of polling documents. Counsel to the plaintiff, Nathaniel Oke, had sought relief of the court to inspect and obtain certified true copies of all electoral documents and materials, which is in the custody of the Chief National Electoral Commissioner of INEC or any other officer of the Commission. Oke also wants the tribunal to grant the leave to conduct manual and physical inspection and verification of all electoral materials and machines in respect of the election. In her ruling, the chairman of the two-man panel, Justice Ogoche, said the application has merit and granted the application as prayed. In part two, after the break, we'll be looking at the controversies trailing recent primaries of political parties in the country ahead of the 2019 general election. I'll be joined by a lawyer, Mr. Chiman Naji. That's in a moment. Please join us again.